Hey, it's Rose59 here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cool mirror frame. Or if you've got an old mirror laying around and you want to dress it up and change something uniquely different, I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. Alright, so to make your picture frame for your actual mirror, what you're going to need is some chair rail molding. You could use chair rail molding you can buy at the Home Depot. It is sold by the foot. I ended up making my own because I wanted to try it out and see how it goes. And I just had some leftover 2x6s. You could use 2x4s if you wanted to, or if you didn't have any of that, I know Home Depot sells just regular pine, I think 3/4 thick, and then it comes in a certain length, and I think 2 inches wide or so, and you can always cut it down. But like I said, I decided to make my own. Just want to use up some of my lumber just to kind of get rid of it. Because it does collect, you know how it does, it just does. And so basically what I did was I cut my pieces. I can't exactly remember what size because I ended up cutting them down and stuff. But you could start off with about 2 inches wide and about, I think, 1 inch thick or so. I did. I ended up buying a crown molding bit set, 1/2 inch shank size from Bessey Tools. And this is kind of what it looks like. So you get different bits in here that gives you great designs. And they aren't numbered, but in case you're wondering which one I used, was just the number 2 bit in here with the bearing bit. These two are the same, these two are the same, and these two are the same in the kit. The only difference is each one comes with the bearing. So it's an excellent kit. Give you great designs. I just wanted to try it out for a picture frame mirror because I bought the mirrors, and the size for the mirror is basically 12 inches by 12 inches, just 12 by 12 mirror, and it comes, I think 4 or 5 or 6 of them. I can't remember in a pack, but it's quite a large pack that they give you. I can't remember the price on it, to be honest, because it was quite a while ago that I bought it. And so what you're going to do is get your wood, or how much wood you want. I ended up cutting my pieces down to 16 inches in length, and I did 4 of them because I wanted to make sure I had enough for cutting for my angles. This is the part where you do waste a little bit because of your angles, a little bit more. I like to go a little overboard, I guess you could say, because I'm not always sure how long to go for cutting your molding, but I like to cut it longer so that you've got enough when you're doing your angles. I think it's important. I'd rather have a piece too long so I can always cut it down. I would not want a piece where it's too short and then you can't use it. So, like I said, you can always buy your molding at Home Depot, the chair rail molding, if I can say that right. Because it does have the groove already at the back for you, which is excellent because one less step that you have to worry about. In my case, I had to make a groove on the bottom. Now, I did mine ahead of time. You don't have to. You could definitely cut it to 45 degrees, put it in the clamp, and then go ahead, glue everything up, and then go ahead and router everything out like you would for a door if you're making a glass door. But I just didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make the groove ahead of time just so it'd be a little bit easier. And you could calculate out everything for your mirror. What I basically did is I just took my mirror and one of the pieces at 16 inches long, and I basically just put it kind of in the groove and just kind of sit it flat down and kind of just made my marks where I had to cut them at 45-degree angle. So I would cut one side, then I'd cut the next side, and cut the next side, and then the other side. And once I cut all the sizes to what I thought it would work, then I used this great clamp technique that's basically from Bessey's. It's just a strap clamp that you can use for any square projects that you've got. They show you different techniques that you can use it for if you go check out their website. So it works really well. So you basically just put your clamps on and just clamp it down. It just kind of gives you a more visual idea before you go ahead and glue everything up to make sure your mirror fits. Now keep in mind, because this is wood, and wood does in moisture expand and contract, so you want to leave just a little bit, because if you do your mirror too tight, what's going to happen is you're going to crack your mirror. So I left about a 16th, I think it is. Let me just double check here. Yep, I left about a 16th on one side. That way then when I put it in the middle later on, gluing it down, that way then it will have some areas for it to move around. So once you've got everything in position and everything like that, and check to make sure it's all nice and square and everything, and that you're happy with the design, kind of flip it over on this side so you kind of can see what it looks like here. And so as you can see, the router bit gave it quite a lot of design here. Okay, so I've glued it back up in its clamps, and what I also did is I've got a staple gun, more for upholstery work and stuff like that. I'm just going around and putting 2 on each side. So what I'm going to do is just put another one here, and it is all good to go. So I'm just going to let it sit in the clamps for about 30 minutes or so, and it shouldn't go anywhere. Now, if you didn't have like a upholstery gun or anything like that, that's compressed, that's okay. You can just let it sit in the clamps for 2 hours or so. Now that you've taken out your clamps and everything like that, what you want to do is give it a good, nice sand everything down nice and smooth. You may have to add some putty in your joints. Sometimes that happens. I had to, but that's how it goes. And just sand everything smooth, and it looks great. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is staining it. And you want to put on a test piece just to make sure you're happy with the color. I'm going to be doing mine purple, and the purple color you could use paint, stain, you could spray paint if you want, you could do whatever you want up to this point. But I'm just going to be doing a clear coat, and mine's just a bare premium. It's really a sample you can buy at Home Depot for your deck. I just did a solid color into purple, and I'm basically just going to be brushing it on, and then I take the rag and I just wipe it off so that you kind of can still see the grain through, but not totally. So when we put the clear coat, it'll pop the color and pop the grain also as well. And what you want to do though is you want to start on the back side, because this is for a mirror, of course. You want to do in the inside because the mirror is going to reflect. So you kind of want to put purple all along your edges on the back side first, then flip it around, and then do your front, and then of course on the inside of your edges here as well. So I'm just going to show you just how I kind of do it here. And I basically just kind of dip it in. Start in a corner. I like to start in one section and kind of work my way around. And this is water-based, so it does dry kind of quickly. So you kind of just want to put it on. I would do just the whole row and stuff like that. And this, don't worry about it. Now, if you like the color the way it is, you definitely could leave it just like this and just put a little clear coat on top after. That's no problem. But I like to see the grain. So make sure you get it all over. Now I'm just going to take my rag here and just start in the corner or in the middle and just give it a nice good rub, just so you kind of can see the grain coming through a bit. And this is a little bit messy. I'm not wearing gloves because it's okay. This is water-based stuff, so you're okay on that. But just give it a nice good rub here. That's why it's good to do on a test piece, like I said, just to make sure you're happy with how the results are. And I'm happy with that. So I'm going to continue to go around the whole frame. So once you finish putting on your stain, what you want to do is let it dry overnight. And then you want to do 2 coats of a clear coat. And usually I just wipe it on, but for another project I had to buy a Rust-Oleum clear coat. It's just stain, it's a clear, and I put 2 coats of this on. So I thought it'd be easier to spray it on because it is water-based, and sometimes if you use a brush and use water-based, sometimes the color will come off of it. With this one though, even though it says supposed to dry clear, no, because it's for outdoor, so it's UV protection and stuff like that. I find in some areas where it got just a titch a little heavy, it kind of got a little green, like a yellow-green kind of color, but it actually turns out pretty cool because it kind of gives it this purplish kind of green kind of color in random areas. So I really am happy with it. But just to let you guys know just about this product, I just want to spray 2 lightly coats. Don't spray over heavy because I know sometimes it's very easy to do. I know I did in some areas, but I'd rather do more coats than to spray too thick in some areas. And once it dries, and just follow the instructions in between coats. I think it's about an hour or so I waited before I did my next coat. Then I let it sit overnight. And once it was fully dry, I just took a plain piece of paper, I've mentioned this in my other videos before, and just lightly kind of just go over, and just, it helps to make it nice and smooth, but you still get your shine, because sometimes when you spray or whatever, you get a little bit of overspray. So this just kind of knocks the overspray out and gives it a nice and smooth finish, and anything like that. So I've done that with the whole entire project here. So it's all done. And then your next step basically is to add in the mirror. Now you can buy a regular mirror. Like I said, I bought like a set of mirrors because I had them, and they were just plain. I did my own design glass etching into it, so you can pick out a design that you like, or you can just do it plain, whatever you like. And so this is basically what I wanted. And so you just have to, the next step is just to flip this over here. And just get it in. Sometimes it's just a little bit tricky at first getting it in. Once it goes in like so, then your next step basically is to do some caulking. And all you basically need is just your regular silicone 2 clear. It's 3 hour ready for your shower. Obviously it's not for a shower, but you apply it the same way. So you use a caulking gun, and I like to make sure I cut it on a nice little 45-degree angle, and basically just go all the way around like you were doing in a shower with your tiles and stuff like that. And then I just like to use my finger for here just to give it a nice push in all the way around, so the wood is getting it nice and tight. And then I'm going to let that sit for overnight. Okay, so now that the silicone is dry, you want to put a backing on, just for protection. You don't have to. I just wanted to, so in case I hung it up, or if I was taking it down or something like that, I just didn't want the back to get scratched very easily, because it can, and once you get a scratch in it, then your mirror, you'll see that scratch in. So this is just a little thin piece of cardboard. I bought it at Home Depot. It's just very thin. It's almost like the brown paper that you can put down when you're painting in your rooms and stuff like that, but it's just a little bit thicker. And I just put it down with some glue. And then to hang it, you can use some wire or whatever best hanging method you want to do. I just use these little hangers, and it comes with nails, but I personally don't like the nails. I just use screws to screw it in better. The number 4 screw I used because it matches the hole size. Now that is pre-drilled already on the metal. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And this is what the finished project kind of looks like and everything. So, see if I can zoom out here for you guys. It's kind of like all reflecting, but yeah. So I'm very pleased and happy with the product and how it turned out. And it's just a nice little mirror. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe, or if you have any questions, please let me know.